Hi, and welcome to the Route to CISO Podcast. It's me, Chris Rides. I'm going to be your host, and I'm going to be chatting to seasoned Chief Information Security Officers about their career journeys. We're going to be unencrypting their real-life stories and searching for the hidden keys to help you fast-track your cybersecurity career. So you got into going back to your career, you got into your first sort of dedicated security role. Was that something that just kind of happened naturally? Because I know some people, especially at the moment, there's people that really want to get into security and they're kind of struggling. I think some people are looking to only take roles that are in security rather than roles that might move them gradually into it. So I don't know whether you got any tips or any advice from your experience.
Yeah, it's a great question. So I think the times were a little bit different because, back then there wasn't much of a security industry. So I can't say it was planned, but I think the other part of it is also, throughout our lives, we are being presented with opportunities. And it's kind of up to each one of us. Hey, do I like to go and try new things, or do I want to stay with what I know and what I feel comfortable with? And there's no right or wrong answer. I mean, everybody is wired differently. I like to try different things from time to time. That seemed to be like an interesting, thing to try. So I got into it, and I found something I really, really like doing.
Now, when you moved on from like an individual contributor into maybe your very first leadership role, what did that look like, and where did that happen?
So that's interesting also because I think the first time I really got into a leadership role was actually back in the military, because I started as an enlisted soldier. And after a year and a half, I was sent to Officers Academy. And, then I came back actually to the same unit I left and, was an officer, and now I had to lead, so that was, I would say, probably my first kind of leadership role, if you will. And obviously there are some trainings and classes about, how to do that. But you don't really get it until you actually start doing it, right? And obviously, military leadership is somewhat different when you do it in the civilian world, because in the military, I would sometimes argue it's easier because they can see your power on your shoulders,
right?
And nobody will argue, right, when you say something. I mean, over here, the civilian world is a little different. When I left the military, I started my own company. So I had that for 6 years. So, recruited people, managed projects. I had that too. And then, I think pretty much every role I had after that, I was leading people in some capacity until eBay. eBay was my first role in 15 years that I actually didn't manage anybody. It was my first individual contributor job in like 15 years. And I have to tell you, it was amazing. Like for the first time in 15 years, I didn't have to worry about anybody by myself. It was really easy. It was really fun. But it didn't last. My next role, I also had to manage people again. So there's a lot to be said. To have, experience of both.
I understand. I've been through the whole lot of, at one point, I think I had 40 people working for me, and then started my own business. Like people that are trying to build, maybe from an individual contributor into a leadership role. Is there anything that they can do, or any things that they can work on that you think helps?
I think, and I don't know if it's just for leadership, and I think it's true for everything, but in particular in leadership, I think first and foremost is self-awareness. Is kind of know who you are, and more importantly, know who you are not. And, most people don't have that self-awareness, at least to the level that, they accurately and precisely know what to do. I would say the first place I would start from, kind of know who you are and know what you like and what you don't like. And if you know who you are and you know what you're capable of, how do you focus on the things that you have the potential not to be good at, but to be great at? And the things that you know that you're not going to be that great at, either don't do them or let somebody else do them. The second thing I would say is probably relationship building. And this is where, again, and I know some people are more extroverted and some are more introverted, but regardless, and as we talked about before, and especially like in the security community, there's a very, very strong power to the community.
Thank you for listening to the Route to CISO podcast. If there's something you really want me to ask on the next episode, or if you're a CISO who wants to inspire the next generation, please reach out. I'll leave a URL to my LinkedIn profile, and make sure you connect and message me there. We're always looking for feedback, so please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.